friends, it's Tracey and Violet. She's over here from Tea Time with Tracey and Violet. And I'm sorry I have not put a video up in some time. It's 2022 and yeah, the kids officially go back to school tomorrow, but it is the first week of school, but it's the first, or they're going online school. So I'm going to have 5 kids in the house in different locations doing online schooling. One mama, I'll have 6 kids in the house, but my eldest here in the house, he's done school, so he'll be working. Anyways, I have not had time to sit down to have a cup of tea with you folks and talk about any of the books that I've read. I haven't done much reading this month in January. Today is January 9th, but I got a couple books read. But this is a book I read last month. It is called Vita Nostra. I'd never heard of this book, but I've seen a few people on BookTube talk about this book, that it's an amazing book and it'll blow your mind, and a strange book. And anyways, it's all those things. I don't know whether I like it or I don't like it, to be honest. This is a translated work. It's I don't feel I'm smart enough to understand this book, is how the long and short of it, to be honest. This is by Marina and Sergei Dichenko, translated by Julia Hershey, or Hersey. I'm not sure how you say that, but this is a Ukrainian novel, and I think it's a trilogy, but this is the first book. So I had to make notes about what this was about. I honestly had to read it and then go back and listen to parts of it with the Audible, because it went over my head. Honestly, jumped from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. It's almost like it's a book of metaphors, and you're supposed to know what it is as soon as you read it. But you don't until you take 3 steps back, but by that time the book's already gone on to something else. It's like really fast that way. That's not really telling you what this is. So let me read the back of it. While vacationing at a beach with her mother, teenage Sasha meets a mysterious, I don't know how to say his name now, I don't know how to say the last name. And this mysterious man, we'll just say, and finds herself powerless to refuse when this unusual, vaguely sinister man directs her to perform a task with potentially scandalous consequences. He rewards her with strange golden coins. As the days progress, Sasha carries out other acts for which she receives more coins from him. As summer ends, her domineering mentor directs her to use her gold to enter the Institute of Special Technologies in the remote village. Against her mother's wishes, Sasha leaves behind all of that she is familiar. She quickly discovers the Institute's special technologies are unlike anything she has ever encountered. The books are impossible to read, the lessons are obscure to the point of maddening, and the work refuses memorization. Using terror and coercion, the school does not punish students directly for their transgressions and failures. Instead, their families pay a terrible price. Yet, despite her fears, Sasha undergoes changes that defy and dictates of matter and time, experiences which are like nothing she has ever dreamed of, and suddenly all she could ever want. A brilliant dark fantasy combining psychological suspense, enchantment, terror, and internationally acclaimed Russian novel receives a definitive English language translation in the hands of Julia Hershey. So that doesn't say a whole lot about what this book is. So yes, the main girl in this book, her name is Sasha. Let me just have a quick whiff of tea first. I'm having orange cinnamon spice. And this is my beautiful girl I have out today. She might have been out with you guys before, I can't recall. But they're blue flowers and the leaves are almost like a pale green gray, the lighting in here is not great. I just put the kids to bed. It's dark out, it's winter, and what you gonna do, huh? But this is her skirt or pedestal. There's gold all around the edges. And on my teacup, there's gold all up around here. There's no gold down on this side of her arm, but there is some on her back side and here. So when I'm sipping it, I can see the gold. And she has a gold slipper down here. And you can see the bottom lip, or like here, it's kind of ruffled. Beautiful, just beautiful, just beautiful. I'm sitting beside a wood fire because it's like -14 out. It's cold. It's cold. So I got the fire roaring today. Oh, here comes somebody down the steps. Oh, of course. Of course. Just hold the phone. I'll be right back. All right, they went in the other room. Whether they'll come out here, I don't know, but I need to have a good snort off of this. Whew, that's hot. I heat the kettle up on the wood stove and it stays hot all evening. All right, so this is kind of a bizarre coming of age story, kind of. This is about Sasha. I think she's 16 at the beginning of this. Like the back of the book said, she's at like a coastal vacation cottage area with her mother, single mother, and kind of a ritzy place, which it's not what they're used to apparently, or at least that's the impression I got from it. And this mysterious man, he has like dark sunglasses on and keeps appearing to her. And she tries to run away, but he keeps popping up. So she ends up kind of in this, it's almost like the movie Groundhog's Day, this loop, until she decides to approach him, or he approaches her, or however it went. But this man directs her to do these strange tasks to the T. So I'll give you one example. When she's at this cottage with her mother, she's instructed to get up, swim out to this buoy out in the ocean. There's a buoy out there, buck naked, at 4 o'clock in the morning sharp. Not 5 minutes after, not 5 minutes before. 4 o'clock in the morning, she swims naked out to this buoy and back, and then goes back home. Do that for 5 days in a row. Or 7 days in a row. And then, when she does that, the strange occurrence happens. At the end of each task, she ends up throwing up these gold coins. Like she's actually throwing up, heaving up, hurling up some gold coins. So of course she's freaking out. These gold coins are popping out of her body, and she questions what's going on. So she keeps to task that task, and then another task happens, and another task happens. And each time she's collecting and hoarding these gold coins that she throws up. It's not like regular money. They're specific coins with a little emblem on them. So each time she is directed with a new task, it's this strange man with sunglasses on. It's almost, he's dark, he seems dangerous, he seems like almost sinister, but not exactly. You can't get a good read on him. Anyways, she's almost forced, against her mother's wishes, everybody seems forced, but they don't know how they're forced, for her to go to this special school in this remote village. And this is like in Russia or Ukraine area. This remote school. And she uses all of these gold coins to pay for the tuition to this Institute of Technologies, special school, university. So, simple enough, right? Well, not really. I mean, that's strange in itself, gold coins and all that jazz. But, so I had to write down notes. I had to go back and make points. So, in this school, it's a university. There's some classes that are like normal classes, English and science or whatever else. But then there's other classes. What is that class called? like speciality. That's a class that is different than what a regular class would be at university. And they go to this class and they learn, but they don't understand what they're learning. They don't understand what they're learning. And it's hard to really explain. When I did my monthly wrap-up last time, I said this book is like reading an encyclopedia backwards when you're on an acid trip or eating mushrooms, standing on your head or something like that. It's really kind of strange. You don't really get a grasp on it. It's kind of a first-person perspective. And a lot of this novel happens on the inside of Sasha, like in her mind and the development, because this novel goes over a span of like 2 years. The first year there, it's like getting to know the school. There's these different instructors there, teachers there. Her mentor, the guy with the sunglasses, like each person kind of has a mentor. Hers is this fella. But all the university professors are all kind of strange, almost not human. But I think they look human, but they're not human. Again, not quite straight on that. Not quite understanding. This is a book I'd have to dissect. Oh, they're coming out. I'm just wondering if they're going to come out here. No, I guess not. Yes, so yeah, the first year learns what the school's about and gets a better grasp on the strange professors. It's a coming of age. It's almost like as you see Sasha grow within the time that she's at the school, it's almost like she's being brainwashed and programmed or reprogrammed on how to view the world. And it's almost like it's a narrative of society today sometimes, how people are squished down into these boxes and taught how to think, but not how to think outside of the boxes. This book, the students in this magic school, it's not like Harry Potter. I've never read Harry Potter books, but it's not like a magic school like that. The magic that's in this is magic I've never heard of. It's like transitioning, and it's going to sound totally off the wall, transitioning from being a human being like this and transitioning into a word. You think a word, like transitioning into a verb or a pronoun, and everybody else in the world are just grammar, exclamation points and periods. I think this book is subjective. Like everybody that reads it probably reads it differently. It's like that Kathy Koja book, The Cipher. That's a very subjective book. I think everybody reads that and gets a different read from it. I think that's what this is. Now, to really scale it down, the book is about Sasha. She's 16 at the beginning. She goes to this magic school. Her mother was a single mother. She ends up remarrying and having a little baby boy. And Sasha's away at school. Her mom and her new stepfather and new brother live there. They talk on the phone some, but the mother doesn't really realize what Sasha is going through at school. And this book isn't so much about family, but it just gives you a little bit of sense that she does have a family, but she's older than her new baby brother and her mom's new knit family and things. So she's struggling with that. She's struggling with school, but it turns out she's quite the exceptional student. The powers that are within her are very strong. And there's almost like a hierarchy in the school of students. Like, I don't want to say preppy or anything like that, but it's almost like the level and capability of each student ranks them into a certain hierarchy. And I don't really know how else to say it. I can't really spoil this story because I still don't quite understand it. I kind of do, but I don't. And I'm just like, I don't know what part 2 or part 3. I don't know if it would be with the same characters or not. I have to be honest and say I'm not really interested in reading the other 2 books. If they do come out, I'm not sure. They might be out now. I have no idea. But my understanding is the powers that Sasha is trying to develop, that she doesn't even realize that's what she's being taught in the school, is transitioning into a word that could be embedded into the world that can actually change the world for good or for bad. It's very hard to explain. It really is. So, if you want a better understanding of this book, which I actually went and looked at some other YouTube videos after I read this book, I'm like, what? It's not bad, and I don't say it's a bizarro book, because I've read bizarro books. They're not really my style. This isn't bizarro horror or anything. This is like a sci-fi fantasy, and it's not usually the kind of books that I read. And people that love this, love this. And I think it's good. I just don't think my mind is meant... I'm not smart enough to read this book and to fully understand it. Really. I found it interesting. But it would jump from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And everything was a little strange. You couldn't, this isn't a book you can skim. You can't skim. And I don't skim books very often unless there's a real info dump. And there's some info dumps in here. It's almost like metaphysics. And I found it interesting. I found it an accomplishment to finish this book. And it's a happy ending, but it's not like, oh, a happily ever after fluffy kind of ending. I wouldn't say. It's Sasha's journey of growth in a teenager in a strange university. Violet, get out of the recycle. And that's about all I can say about this book. I would recommend it if you want a challenge, but this might be right up your alley, really. And it might blow your mind, because it seems to blow a lot of people's minds that I've seen on YouTube. It's their new favorite book. And I'm just like, what am I missing? I don't know. It's not bad. It's just, it's not a book that can stick in my mind. Like, I remember what I read, but it's so flitty that it doesn't stick in my mind the way that other books stick in my mind. So that's all I can say about this book. I do have other books that I have read, and I can probably get into more detail about those books. But I wanted to revisit this one with you while I still could, because, woo, I don't know. I don't know if I'll remember that in the detail I do now 6 months from now. I don't know. So anyways, I'm going to finish this tea. I might even try to squeeze out another book chat, because I'll have another cup of tea in this pot. So anyways, thanks for joining me. I will try to get back on track now that school is starting. My husband's back to the city for the week. For those that know me, my eldest daughter and her fiance and grandbaby were here for a month. So I had 11 people in this house, and I had no time to sit down. If I did, I'd be falling asleep. My head would bang off the table. Like right now, yeah, I can do it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, all right, guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.